Good morning. Welcome to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. I'm Sheriff Wesley Doolittle. We're here to talk about one of our oldest cold cases, and we're excited to announce that, in the long pursuit of justice, we've identified and arrested Bobby Charles Taylor Sr. for the murder of Deanna Ogg in 1986, September 7th, 1986. He's in custody here today, and we're here with Deanna's family, with our sheriff's office, with our community partners, our federal, state, and local partners. I always tell folks that we're better together. When we work together in the interest of justice, we see results like this. We saw good police work back then. We see good police work now. We see that after 40 years, with advances in technology, advances in genealogy, DNA, that we've been able to conclusively identify the suspect in this case. In September 27, 1986, Deanna Ogg was a 16-year-old girl simply walking to a store in Porter. She was a member of our community, and her life mattered to us, and it still does today. I'm so glad to see her family here with us, to see her mother, Patricia, here with us today. Thank y'all for being here. This case has seen many chapters. There was originally a suspect arrested who's since been exonerated, but through persistence, through working together, we have identified the person responsible for her death. For decades, our cold case investigators have pursued this case. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office has had a cold case unit since 2006 for nearly 20 years. Working with our Texas Ranger partners, they have had a cold case unit now for about 25 years. We have new programs. We have DNA databases, have the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, which is what we use to work with the Texas Rangers on this case, to re-examine evidence, to go back through a private lab called Bodie Technologies, to re-examine this case and the evidence that we originally collected. They identified the evidence, they identified a DNA profile, and working diligently through genealogy, we were able to find a closely related family member of the suspects. Through that DNA profile, we were able to learn the identity of our suspect, or we had a reason to believe. That suspect was out of country in Mexico, where he had absconded on a previous case after conviction. And when we got him to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, we took a known sample from him and had that directly compared to the evidence in this case, and conclusively identified him as the suspect. I'm told that the level of confidence is 1 in an octillion. That's an insane number, 3 times as many people there are in this world. So it'd be unreasonable to think that it's not him. We truly believe it is. The suspect turned himself into agency and got back to Montgomery County right about May 4th of 2026. So I want people to know that we will never stop searching for the truth. I want to thank our federal partners, our local partners, our district attorney for not giving up on this case. Now, I can tell y'all that it doesn't matter how long ago a crime was committed. Through persistence, through diligence, through working together, we don't forget. And when we do that, we come to conclusions like this. We find suspects and we hold them accountable. It doesn't matter where they're at in this world or what they've done. We will find out. We will bring them to justice. And I'm pleased to be here with you today. Just this year, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office was selected to be one of 2 agencies in the state of Texas to implement a rapid DNA system. Us and Williamson County have those systems, and ours will go live this year before September, working with DPS, where when we take suspects into custody, we'll get a DNA profile from them upon arrest, and within hours of arrest, that known profile will be compared to evidence in CODIS, and we'll learn if people are connected to unsolved crimes just within hours of arrest to give us a better opportunity to find that person and interview them before they're released from custody. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that came around about 2007. We've always taken DNA samples upon release from jail, but in 2007 for qualifying offenses, we started taking them upon arrest. So we're hopeful that will lead to more cold case solves. I will also tell you all that I think the pictures of Mr. Taylor are scrolling behind me, or that they released them. If you recognize him, if you've got evidence, if you've got information, maybe about crimes we are unaware of, if you've got information about this case, if you knew him, had suspected information at any time in his lifetime, contact our office. The phone numbers are up here. But for the public and our work with you, you have the information. You know your community, you know your neighbors, you know people. And we rely on you to give us information. So if you think you have something that can help us in this case, please call our office. I'm going to turn this over now to our district attorney.
Thank you. Grateful for y'all to be here today, particularly for the family. Very grateful to you. I want to say three things. The first thing I want to say is that there's a reason that there is no statute of limitations for murder. It doesn't matter how many pages of the calendar have turned when we're trying to find accountability here, because there's no more serious crime in the law. We've alleged that this man, Mr. Taylor, has killed Deanna, and when he did, he took away everything she had and everything she would ever have, and she took away the experiences that you, the family, would have had with her. Her graduation, her wedding, every holiday and every birthday. And I'm sorry. 40 years of that, and that loss is incalculable, and it's heartbreaking, and I promise you that every man and woman in uniform feel it for you. And so for us, it makes no difference how long ago this was. None at all. Second thing I want to say is that in law enforcement, there's an ethos, a way of life that's not always known by civilians, but that way of life that these men in particular experience is that there's just no quit in them. They're dogged and they're determined and they're dedicated. And sometimes a case goes cold, but if there's any trail at all, they follow it. That's what these men did. There were a lot of people in this case that did just the right thing at the right time, and we're grateful for them. There's an old cowboy saying that the lightning does the work and the thunder gets the credit. The sheriff and I are not here to take credit today. We're here to lift these men up and everybody who did the right thing in this case. But there's three people more so than most that deserve the lion's share for the reason that we're here right now. Detective Foddy Risk, right here with the Sheriff's Office. Ranger Chris Perkins with the Department of Public Safety. And the third is one of my prosecutors, Division Chief Donna Hanson. Donna couldn't be here today. She's doing some human trafficking work. But those three people worked very hard for a long time on behalf of Deanna and on behalf of his family. And they're the reason that we're here today. And I could not be more proud of you gentlemen and of my prosecutor, and I know the sheriff feels the same way. And I hope the people of Montgomery County are proud of these folks as we are of them. The third thing I want to say, and this needs to be said, there's much more to do. Mr. Taylor, this is important, Mr. Taylor is presumed innocent up until the point we prove him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That matters, that's an important right, and we intend to honor it. But we also intend to prove up these allegations together, and there are many steps between now and then. But we're going to do that work together at the level the people of this county expect and that you, the family, deserve. That's our promise to you. We will do that. The sheriff says that all the time, that we are better together, and we really are, but we are going to ensure that justice is done and seen to be done. That is our promise to you. I'll give it back to the sheriff.
Thank you, District Attorney. Appreciate that. At this time, we're going to have Deanna's mother, Patricia, read a statement for you. I'm going to read the statement for her, just so you can clearly hear it. Deanna Lynn Ogg, the girl who loved her mama's dresses. She loved makeup, and she loved Jesus too. She could rock out to an album or mellow to a slow country song. She liked to dress out in her best or tie her hair up and roam around in her big brother's concert t-shirts. To tote around a baby brother like David, like her own living doll, gave her such joy. She had the best of friends that often were referred to as the Musketeers. Deanna wasn't on this earth for a long time. She was here for a good time. Her love of Jesus and love of her family has withstood a lifetime. As a family, we would like to extend our empathy and compassion to the family of Bobby Taylor. As we have had 40 years to grieve and accept that Taylor's family's journey has just begun. We would also like to thank the detectives for never losing hope and their devotion to giving us closure. So now we may begin to heal and move forward. Patricia Ogg. That's going to conclude this portion of the news conference. We will take some questions if y'all have them.
Right. He'll be convicted of the 86 law now. What was that back then?
Well, it depends on how we end up going forward. He's charged with capital murder, and he is subject potentially to the death penalty under that law.
Is there any information you're releasing at this time about how he accosted her or, got access to her?
I don't have any. That'll all come out in the trial. It's been well documented in the case reports and stuff too, and the detectives will be able to give you some information on that. I'm sure there's lots of open source information on that as well.
Sure. So do we know yet if he's a stranger or someone associated with school or anything like that?
It's my understanding that they did not know each other. Yes, ma'am.
Sheriff, you mentioned obviously advancements in DNA technology led to this. Were you guys actively working the cold case, or how did it actually come about? Did you guys just get a match through that new system you were talking about, or how did it come about now?
Okay. She's asking about how do we get onto the DNA. There has been a lot of advancement. In 1986, no one would have ever thought we would be able to do what we can do today. Advancements in DNA. This case got a fresh look in around 2000 when the DNA exonerated the former person who was arrested for the case. At that time, it stalled a little, and for the last 6 years, Detective Risk and Ranger Perkins have been re-examining that evidence. I asked them, I want to say that, I know I wrote a note somewhere here, that we were able to start doing familial DNA research, genealogy and stuff, within the last 10 years. And because of that, they've been able to go back and identify people in cases and suspects that we've never been able to do before. So working through those familial relationships, Bodie, the DNA lab that did the genealogy as well, they were able to give us some information to help point us in the right direction.
Has Mr. Taylor said anything, any admission of this crime to you guys?
Not at this time.
Any other unsolved potential links to him?
Not that we're aware of now. Obviously, we're going to continue the investigation and run those sources through CODIS and continue to do our due diligence. That's why I would ask if someone believes they could have been a victim of his, if he's done other crimes that haven't been reported or that we're unaware of, for those people to look at the pictures, to come forward and give us information and give us that opportunity to follow up on that information. It could help.
Sheriff, you just mentioned Detective Risk and Ranger Perkins is going over the evidence, but I also see representations from the FBI. Would you mind telling us what their place in this investigation is?
Obviously, they have their own, like they have an unsolved crime program as well. They have DNA technology that we use with some of their folks. But in this particular case, they helped us with bringing the fugitive back to the United States from Mexico.
Sheriff and I were talking about this earlier. Defendants very often will flee to other countries, including Mexico. When we have a partner with the federal government, with good partners, there really is no place somebody can run that we can't find them, particularly when we have the assistance that we had here.
And I might add too, so we work closely with the FBI. Nick that's sitting down there, he's stationed at the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. He works out of our office every day with these guys. We have a great relationship with them. And it's because of those relationships we were able to make things happen quickly. That I continuously talk about those partnerships. So it's a good thing.
A little more.
Go ahead, Scott.
Hunter, you've been working these cold cases a long time.
Yes, sir.
How's it feel to finally get this one cleared? I mean, you've been on it for quite a while now.
Yeah, I've been in the cold case unit since January 2020, and I picked this up right when I got in, so it's very rewarding, and it's excellent to bring the family a little bit of sense of justice.
Absolutely.
How many more cold cases are there? There's a lot, quite a few out there yet. You look at.
Yeah, we got almost 100 out there.
Sheriff, a little more on the line of question about him being in Mexico. Can you tell us how long you think he was there? Did he flee just when he heard, or when he thought that he might be arrested for this or a previous crime? Any timeline on
Right.
what you
He had a felony DWI that the case was, he was convicted on and left during that time period.
He's sentenced to 50 years in prison from I think it was his 7th DWI, unrelated to this. He flees before sentence can be pronounced. He's in Mexico to take the risk. Ranger Perkins are meanwhile working on this case.
Is it your understanding he was local before that?
Yeah.
In Montgomery County resident?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. He lived about 2 miles from the crime scene at that time. And it's important to us that we follow up on those things. Anybody else? Okay, well, thank you all for coming. Thank you to Deanna's family for being here today. I'm very proud of the fact that we were able to bring you to this point so you know who committed this crime. We thank y'all for coming here. We thank the media for coming here and helping us get information out about this. And there are more unsolved crimes. There are unsolved crimes here in Montgomery County. There are unsolved crimes across the state of Texas and the United States. If you think you have information on a cold case, please visit either the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office Cold Case Unit website or the Texas Rangers Cold Case website. And if you provide tips and information for us, we can follow up on them and get an opportunity to solve the next one. So thank y'all very much.
So we'll close out.
Okay.